filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take a few to lose. Built the win, applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another episode. And yeah, I know it's late, but we got to talk about what happened on the regular season finale, week 14. So, like I said, I know it's late, but hey, don't worry about why I was late. Just be happy I'm here. So first, before we get into it, I'd like to ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, helps the network. It helps my channel, CTC, by way of the Refuse to Lose network. Now, like I said, this is a network, so we do have multiple shows. We have the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave every Tuesday and Friday from 7 to about 8:30ish. We have Unfazed every Tuesday, 8 Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, featuring Joe and AJ. We have BWT, Baseball with Teddy. Look out as he drops episodes about the free agency. We have RBO, Real Ballers Only, featuring Vaughn, NBA show. Our Pistons took a bad loss to the Bucks last night, but it's all good. Be on the lookout for whenever he drops. We have Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sport. We have FFC Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs, who returned this week. So if you are lucky enough to make your playoffs, which it is week 14 in the NFL, right there at the cusp of playoff time. So make sure you get your tidbits from him. And we got In the Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo boxing episodes. They drop on Sundays, so make sure you tune into them around 7 o'clock. And that's all the shows we have on the network. So please like, comment, share, subscribe. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. Now, shout out my brother in the comments. He said a lot of intense football action week 14. Yes, it was. We had football Tuesday, Thanksgiving. We had a game. And then we had games Friday and Saturday, Black Friday and Saturday. But as you know, on this week of college football, we always start with the upsets, and we had 3 this past week as we moved into conference week, as I'm just messing up. And the first one we had Texas A&M over Texas. Friday night, Texas wins 27-17 at home to go undefeated at home in the regular season. They defensively put a beat down. Oops, not Pole Talk. They put a defensive beat down on Texas A&M. And by the way, since I accidentally brought up Pole Talk was Tuesday's show. I did a whole episode Tuesday reacting to the top 25 as it dropped. So there will be no more Pole Talk this week because I did a whole episode on it. So make sure you go check it out. But yeah, defensively, man, Texas did a great job on Texas A&M. I think they did a great job on Marcel Reed. Now, Texas A&M did score the first touchdown of the game, and that was in large part due to a Kevin Concepcion punt return, who then capped off the drive later in the game with a touchdown, I believe a touchdown run. But yeah, he scored the only touchdown in the first half. Texas did block a Randy Bond field goal in the first half as well. But the second half, man, Texas offense woke up. Arch Manning woke up. They had a dominant third quarter when they scored a field goal and a touchdown. They got to stop to start the third quarter as well. Texas A&M would score a touchdown down 10 by E.J. Smith, but Arch Manning would have a run late in the ball game, which I ain't going to lie, the way he was moving, I thought it was like a wildcat. I'm like, hold on, who they got back there? And then I seen Arch. I was like, okay. He was moving. He got like a 30-plus yard touchdown run to basically seal the game. And then I believe Texas scored a pick at the end of it to basically put the dagger in Marcel Reed and Texas A&M SEC championship hopes. And again, I told y'all, and I get it wasn't for all the games, but it had that note. If you win, you're in the SEC championship game. And Texas A&M came out and lost their only game of the season, which cost them a shot at the SEC. But it was a great win by Texas, nonetheless. It was a win that I thought would have them jump Miami. Now, did I think they should jump Miami? No. Did I think the committee would have them jump Miami? Yes. I thought the committee would have them jump Miami. I'm actually happy it didn't happen because although Texas is an SEC school and, you know, they played some tough teams. They played Georgia. They played Vandy. They played Texas A&M. You know, that loss by Florida should matter. That loss to Florida should matter. Miami beat Florida, and I'm glad the SEC, I almost called them the SEC because they do be tending to have SEC bias at times, but the committee did not jump them over Miami. But I thought it would happen. I did. I thought the committee, I was trying to think like the committee, and I thought the committee would do it. But nonetheless, again, great win by Texas. You can go out playing spoiler. Had a good season compared to what people thought it would be. And also with Arch failing to match the overhype he got in the beginning of the year, which, by the way, I do think Arch ended up having a good season. I think you can see Arch progress throughout the season, which was good. And I think, honestly, this is why you shouldn't have, like, super high expectations of a quarterback because of the name. He had a huge amount of hype because of the name, and he played bad against Ohio State. And everybody jumped off the ship. And, like, to watch him progress through the season was fun. Like, I actually enjoyed the fact that I watched him progress. I watched him go from disappointing everybody to progressing. It was fun to watch. Shout out to Texas. Shout out Shark. I would say great season by them. We'll move on to the next upset. Arizona upsets Arizona State like I thought they would, 23-7. And like I said, man, you got to take advantage of Jeff Sims being a turnover machine. And what did Jeff Sims do? He threw 3 interceptions. Arizona in the first half, though, however, it looked like they weren't capitalizing at all. They missed a field goal. They was getting the ball, couldn't convert. It was just bad for Arizona. They was just making mistake after mistake, couldn't capitalize to the point where Arizona State was actually up 7-3 for majority of the first half, if not to halftime. But then Arizona pitched a shutout in the second half. Like I said, man, Jeff Sims turned the ball over. Arizona State had 4 turnovers in the second half. Arizona did great. They only had a punt in the second half and a missed field goal in the third drive. So they did a great job second half turning it around. And they did like I thought, man. They capitalized off the turnovers, and they won 23-7. Now, ultimately, in terms of, like, playoffs, this game didn't matter. But, of course, when you battle an in-state rival, that matters. So this was a great win for the in-state rivalry. It knocked Arizona State, it knocked them out of, like, the top 25 in the country. So that's another thing that Arizona came to hat on. But like I said, man, I knew it was coming. Jeff Sims' collegiate career has been a turnover machine, and he showed you who he was this game against Arizona. And then the last upset, another team cost themselves a chance at the conference title. SMU, 21st ranked SMU, loses on the road to Cal, 38-35. And all I got to say is offensive execution did them in. And I mean this at the end of the game. You have no timeouts left, running clock, false start. You got to use your last time. You had 1 timeout left with the false start. You got to use your last timeout because that was a 10-second runoff. You can't have that. But you still lose the 5 yards. Then the next play, I feel like Kevin Jennings could have hit the running back out the flat. It felt like nobody was there. He could have hit him out the flat, and he could have got some yards and went out of bounds. Instead, it was, I believe, an incomplete pass. Third down, they had to kick the field goal for 52 yards out, and he missed badly. Wasn't even close. And that led to the upset. Now, first quarter, again, execution. This was a little bit of a miscommunication on the interception he threw, targeting Hibner, the tight end. Just a miscommunication. Read the zone. I think he wanted him to keep going. The tight end sat. Like I said, a miscommunication there. Cal was able to capitalize a lot. They were up 17 going into the third. And then SMU really rattled off 4 touchdowns straight. But the fourth quarter, they rattled off 3 touchdowns in the fourth to go up 3 points. And then there's the controversial no touchdown, which, in my opinion, if you're SMU, you want that to be counted as a touchdown. Kendrick Raphael on 2nd and goal, down 4, takes the ball to the outside. Now, to be honest with you, that wasn't a touchdown. He did not score. But that would have been another timeout wasted by SMU. And then Cal could have killed clock to make this the last possession of the game because that was 2nd down. You still got 3rd and 4th down to go, and they need a touchdown. Field goal does them no good. So let's just say 3rd down. Nah, we run it, don't get it. Now they can kill the clock 3 seconds, fourth down, and they could make this the last drive. Hey, fourth and goal. We got to go for a touchdown anyway. Season, we already in the bowl game, 6-5. We're going to make this the last play of the game. They score, you lose there. As opposed to, they count it as a touchdown. You keep your timeout. And you got 40 seconds, 43 seconds to get down the field and score. So while it wasn't a touchdown, it ultimately benefited SMU that counting as a touchdown because it gave them a shot at winning as opposed to Cal killing the clock and just killing the game right there. It's just, again, late game execution after those two chunk plays by RJ and Hibner, I believe, or RJ and Jennings, excuse me. They just couldn't get it done, sent to overtime, and Cal hangs on for the win. But honestly, you want that to count as a touchdown if you SMU because, like I said, Cal could have just ended it there. So you just gotta execute late game, and it didn't happen. And so Cal comes away with the win, going into this new regime because, like Wilcox is fired, and move on. SMU will not be in the conference title, and Duke actually played themselves into the conference title by beating Wake Forest. I think I got that as a notable game, so I should have actually saved that. But we'll move on to notable games. And the first notable game, obviously, we're going to talk about. Oh, no, excuse me. It's not the first one we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about San Diego State, New Mexico. Now, in the end, this game kind of didn't matter because neither one of these teams made the conference championship, but it was at a chance to make it a conference championship. And New Mexico beat San Diego State 23-17 in double overtime. Now, not going to lie, the first half, it was kind of New Mexico went up 10-zip. San Diego State went back up 14-10, but the second half was really important to me. New Mexico brought like a long run to go up 17-14. San Diego State had a touchdown called back. I believe it was illegal formation because somebody was covered. I think the tight end in motion was covered, so he wasn't ineligible. The guy who scored the touchdown, New Mexico thought that he was not eligible, so they left him open. San Diego State hit him for a touchdown, got called back, ended up resulting in no points. San Diego State would kick a field goal to tie. They had a ball multiple times. Both teams had a ball multiple times to make some type of move late in the fourth quarter. So then they just I messed up. So then basically what happened was they won the overtime. First play of overtime, San Diego State throws an interception. And I'm like, oh, this is over. By the way, I did pick San Diego State to win this game. So I'm like, oh, this is over. Man, New Mexico's going to win. All they got to do is just kick the field goal from here. But they played it out. They played it out. And a fumble happened basically at the goal line. And New Mexico. San Diego State recovers. New Mexico gets the ball in the second half because they chose defense first in the first half. So they got to go offense first in the second half. And the tight end catches a one-handed grab. It looked like the throw might be a little too far, and it's nobody in the vicinity. It's nobody close. I don't know if it's a busted coverage. I don't know if it's a match, and somebody wasn't supposed to follow. I don't know. But he runs up the sideline, 25-yard touchdown, first play in second overtime. San Diego State converts on like third down, I believe, to keep the drive alive. They get to the 10. It's first and goal, and then 3 straight false starts. Make it go first and goal from the 25, and they can't convert on 4 different plays. As New Mexico hangs on to win at home 23-17. Because New Mexico had to go for 2 and they didn't get it because of the second overtime rules. You got to go for 2. And San Diego State drops that one. Like I said, ultimately didn't matter to them because neither one of them got in. But it mattered in the grand scheme of things because it created a 4-way tie in the Mountain West between San Diego State, Boise State, New Mexico, and UNLV. And Boise State and UNLV, as you know, advanced to the Mountain West Conference title game, which in the preseason was my Mountain West title game. I had Boise State and UNLV in the Mountain West championship game in the preseason. So we'll move on to the next game in the Mountain West we had that night, which was Boise State, Utah State, which Boise State wins on a comeback 25-24 at Utah State in regulation. Now, Utah State dominated this game throughout the majority of the game, to be honest. And I think the issues with Max Cutforth being the starting quarterback kind of reared its ugly head in the first half. But the defense second half, shout out Utah State, only give up 3 points in the second half. And honestly, when Boise State needed to have it, they had a need to have it drive late in the ball game to go up 25-24. And Utah State just at the end, just mistakes, just like SMU, cost them the game at the end. They were up as much as 21-10, I believe. No, that's second half. I think it was up as much as 24-17 or something like that. They were up quite a bit. And Boise State scored a touchdown to go up 1. And Utah State could not answer Boise State got the ball back, killed majority of the clock, and Utah State had a little bit of hope at the end, and they could not get it done. And Boise State got a much-needed win to get in the Mountain West Conference Championship game. We'll move on next to the game that everybody couldn't wait for, which was kind of boring. It wasn't boring. It was lopsided. Number 1 Ohio State goes into number 15 Michigan's house and wins 27-9. Now, I did pick Michigan because I only went with the side of recent history. I felt like, man, I've been picking Ohio State every year because it seems like every year it felt like this was the team to do it. Now, I can't just keep going against recent history. So I went with Michigan. And thank God I was wrong because I was scared that Michigan wins and that they may get a shot at the Big Ten title, which it wouldn't have mattered anyway because Oregon beat Washington 26-14 in I wouldn't say a struggle game because I feel like Oregon was never in danger of losing that game, but they didn't beat them how I thought they should beat Washington. But anyway, we're not talking about that. Michigan started the game with a field goal. They got a big run early by Jordan Marshall. Got in field goal range, kicked the field goal, went up 3-0 early. Then they got an interception the very first Ohio State drive. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm like, man, Julian Sain was never battle tested, man. This man trash. Like, I was going in on Julian Sain. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? He right there. What you looking at? And I'm pretty sure this is my brother just commented. So I watched the game with him. So if this is him, yeah, see, he can tell you I was going in on Julian Sain. Like, bro, he never was tested. Ohio State, just an Ohio State team was never tested. Blah, blah. I'm mad. Like, bro, he threw an obvious interception. I was just like, what are you looking at? But I will give Julian Sain all the praise in the world to bounce back from that mistake, the poise he had in that environment, in that big of a game. He balled from the rest of the game. He got Jeremiah Smith the touchdown off a nasty releasing route. He had Carnell Tate deep off I think it was a deep post to go up 17-9, kind of like right before halftime. He balled. He looked absolutely great after he got that pick. I guess he just needed to get that pick out of the system for him to play well, and he played absolutely well. While Bryce Underwood underperformed, he did not look good at all. He had 60 yards on 18 passes. The run game tried to keep Michigan alive, but Ohio State, they bended a little bit, but they didn't break at all. They gave him a little room. They got some chunk plays. Michigan got some chunk plays, but Ohio State did a very good job of not letting them score touchdowns. Now, I will say this, that Ohio State second drive where Branham, he from District Heights too. Branham headbutted Con Knipple's dad, the referee, and stayed in the game, and they still held him to a field goal. That worried me a bit for Ohio State. I'm like, this Michigan defense had held them to a goal line stand of 5 stops for real, because then the false start happened. But that happened, and I'm like, hold on, bro. If this is any other school, that man is ejected. He headbutted him. He didn't accidentally butt him. Like, he didn't accidentally, like, yell, like, bro, what are you doing? Blah, 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 and, like, was getting in his face, and accidentally his face mask touched. No, he said, boom, he headbutted him. And the ref just gave him unnecessary roughness or whatever, unsportsmanlike conduct, excuse me, and let him stay in the game. He was in the game the next play. Like, that is crazy to me. Like, he should have been ejected. So I thought that was kind of weird too, but ultimately Ohio State got it done. What was it? Davidson Igbinosun caught a pick late in the ball game, got unsportsmanlike conduct for taking his helmet off on the field, which he didn't care. The game was over pretty much. He just wanted I'm pretty sure he just wanted the girls at the joint to see him catch a pick. But yeah, this game, once Ohio State went up, really was never in doubt, to be honest. And Ohio State snaps a 4-game losing streak to they call them Michigan. So I'm gonna call them Michigan since they won. Snapped a 4-game winning streak, or the school up north, whatever we want to call them. Snapped a 4-game losing streak there, and they move on to play Indiana in the Big Ten Championship this Saturday, which we will talk about tomorrow. Next notable game I got is Western Kentucky, who was my Conference USA champion preseason, loses to Jack State, who I did have Jack State winning this game, 37-34 at Jacksonville State. Now, this game started off, both teams scoring a touchdown. Jack State got the ball first. They score a big run play. They score. Western Kentucky moved the ball down the field with Rodney Tisdale. They score. Jack State fumbles the next drive, and Western Kentucky recovers. They go down and score again. So I'm like, oh, man, Jack State, what we doing? Then Jack State get the ball, settle for a field goal. I'm like, oh, man, here we go. Then Western Kentucky gets the ball again. Touchdown. I'm like, all right, dog. Some got to give. And then Jack State punts. I'm like, oh, come, like, y'all just at home going to give it up like this. But then the momentum changes when Jack State catches the interception. They go take it to a touchdown. They go down. I think they're down 28-24 at halftime. And in the second half, they give up 6 points total as they win the game 37-34. Excellent defensive effort in the second half by Jack State. Literally, Western Kentucky got 3 of their points because of a blocked field goal late in the ball game, which Jack State got off of a turnover. They should have actually took advantage and got a touchdown. But either way, Western Kentucky blocked the field goal, set up for 3 points. But the defense did a great job keeping them out the end zone. And Jack State was able to come back and win. So salute to Jack State as they take on Kennesaw State in the Conference USA title game tomorrow. But we'll talk about that again before the game tomorrow. Next, we got Wake Forest at Duke. Now, this is a notable game because Duke won this game 49-32, which got them in the ACC championship game to the dismay of a lot of people, including myself. I did not want Duke in there. Not because, they got a 5, they're 7-5, blah, blah. No. I mean, obviously they're 7-5 because of out of conference more than so they're in conference. It's just I knew Virginia was going to beat VTech, and I didn't want to see Virginia versus Duke, the rematch. I really didn't, but they got it done. Duke starts the game with 2 touchdown drives to start the game. Wake Forest had a touchdown drive before half, but Duke was up 21-17. To me, though, obviously the difference in this game was Wake Forest turning the ball over. You had multiple fumbles. You had an interception by Robbie Ashford. You started the third quarter when the interception was led to a Duke touchdown. Like it was just turnover after turnover. You had 2 fumbles, down multiple scores, led Duke to scoring. It was just so many turnovers in this game, which kept Duke alive. And I ain't gonna lie, I don't know where this Wake Forest defense was today. Duke was just throwing the ball, pitch and catch around the field. This Wake Forest defense is normally better than that, but Duke just had their number. What was it, Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. So Duke played a heck of a game. They knew what was on the line. Manny Diaz had these boys ready, and they went on to beat Wake Forest to move on to the ACC championship game. And the last game, notable game I got for y'all is the Iron Bowl. Alabama scores a late game touchdown. Ty Simpson throws it to Isaiah Horton to win 27-20. Cam Coleman, huge fumble. He had 2 of them, I think, in the game. Late game, trying to come back. He fumbles the ball. I know he's hurt. 27-20, man. I feel bad for Cam Coleman, man, because he's been so good. He's been dealing with so much at Auburn. And for him to lose the Iron Bowl like that, you got to feel for a young man like him of his caliber. But he'll bounce back. But to be honest, it felt like once Auburn came back down with 2 scores, that Auburn was going to win this game. I'm not going to lie. I did feel that way. Alabama offense sputtered yet again. This offense just sputtered as of late. Todd Simpson, I believe, threw a pick or something? Something happened. Turnover happened. You gave up a big play to start the run for Auburn. It just felt like Auburn had the momentum in Auburn to come back and win this Iron Bowl. And you never know with the Iron Bowl. So to me, it felt like Auburn was going to come back, but Alabama was able to hold on. And I believe that touchdown was on 4th and goal, if I'm not mistaken, to Isaiah Horton. But it was just a great ballsy play by Bama. They know, hey, we're in. This is our in-state rival. A lot on the line. We got to drop our nuts. And they got it done. They win the game. And they move on to face Georgia in the SEC championship game. And we move on to our last segment before major performances. We move on to games to mention. And I put a couple games to mention here because we had some milestones being broken. I think we got like 7 games here, which is probably the most I've done in a while. First game. And this game is only here because of the milestone broken. So I'm going to actually have a cheering thing going. Number 2, Indiana beats Purdue 56-3. Hey. Season, shout out to Coach Signetti and the Indiana Hoosiers. Next game, we got Georgia beating Georgia Tech 16-9 in their rivalry matchup, clean old-fashioned hate. They went on to go 10-2 while Georgia Tech went on to go 9-3. But this game is just always a good game. I didn't think this would be as good of a game as it was, and they got it done. Ole Miss beats Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl 38-19 for they said this is the first 11-win season any school between Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Now they said any Mississippi school, but I don't know. it may be a Southern Miss or somebody like D1, like a group of 5 Mississippi schools. Something had 11 wins, and they were just talking about the power schools. So I'll just say this: between Ole Miss and Mississippi State, this is the first school or first team to have 11 wins. So congratulations to them. They went 11-1 on the year. Sucks that their one loss to Georgia cost them a chance at the SEC title game. Next, we have another milestone. 14th ranked Vandy blows out 19th ranked Tennessee 45-24 for their first 10-win season ever that I saw. I saw online that was their first 10-win season ever. Shout out Pavi and Coach Lee. Got it done. I seen they flipping some recruits too. I seen they flipped a 5-star quarterback. That's crazy for Vanderbilt. Shout out to them. And shout out to them for wanting to play a 13th game. That'd have been lit. I would have liked to see it. But yeah, I told y'all Tennessee had no good wins and Vanderbilt was going to expose that. Next, Troy. Oh, I don't mean to cheer for this because they ruined me. Troy beat Southern Miss on the road 28-18 to go to the Sun Belt Championship game. Now, if you've been watching my show, I predicted the Sun Belt to be Southern Miss versus JMU. And Southern Miss blew it. Troy got it done though, however, so congratulations to them. And finally, Virginia Tech loses to Virginia 27-7 for Virginia to give an opportunity to go to the ACC Championship game. And that's all the games I got to mention. We'll move on to amazing performances, and that'll be it for the show today. So I got a couple names here. Let's get right into it. First name I got for y'all is Dante McMillan, running back, Eastern Michigan, 11 carries, 111 yards, touchdown, 4 catches, 126 yards, and a touchdown. Alex Texa, running back, Navy, 26 carries, 103 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Roman Hemby, running back, Indiana, 12 carries, 152 yards, and a touchdown. Quintravion Wisner, running back, Texas, 19 carries, 155 yards. Kawan Lacey, running back, Ole Miss, 27 carries, 143 yards, and a touchdown. Next, we have turn the page the wrong way. Emmett Johnson, running back, Nebraska, 29 carries, 217 yards, and a touchdown. Gavin Garcia, running back, Kent State, 24 carries, 151 yards, and a touchdown. Siobhan Wright, running back, NIU, 30 carries, 185 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Owen Allen, running back, Air Force, 25 carries, 107 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Lloyd Avant, wide receiver, Colorado State, 8 catches, 135 yards. Caleb Hawkins, running back, North Texas, 25 carries, 186 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I don't know why I said Vandravius' name like that. Vandravius Jacobs, wide receiver, South Carolina, 7 catches, 141 yards, and a touchdown as we lost to Clemson. Jaleel Farouk, 10 catches, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the University of Maryland as they owe as Tama owes me Chipotle because Michigan State put them hands on them boys. Punch Knox, wide receiver, Maryland, 8 catches, 139 yards, and a touchdown. Malik Benson, receiver, Oregon, 5 catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown. Isaiah Santanga, receiver, Oklahoma, 9 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Malcolm Simmons, receiver, Auburn, 3 catches, 143 yards, and a touchdown. Parker Kingston, receiver, BYU, 6 catches, 126 yards, and a touchdown. Malachi Toney, receiver, the University of Miami, 13 catches, 126 yards, and a touchdown. Cedric Alexander, running back, Vanderbilt, 10 carries, 115 yards, and 3 touchdowns. King Miller, running back, USC, 17 carries, 124 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Chris Johnson Jr., running back, SMU, 10 carries, 128 yards, and a touchdown. JKS Jerron Kiwe Sagabitele, quarterback, Cal, 31 of 40, 330 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Lavelle Wright, running back, Western Kentucky, 14 carries, 116 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Hayden Creel, quarterback, Jacksonville State, 12 of 19, 204 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 20 carries, 143 yards, and a touchdown. Cam Cook, running back, Jacksonville State, 25 carries, 137 yards, and a touchdown. DeAndre Johnson, receiver, Jack State, 5 catches, 122 yards, and a touchdown. Sawyer Rickinelli, wide receiver, Wake Forest, 7 catches, 123 yards, and a touchdown. Jeremy Payne, running back, TCU, 26 carries, 174 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Josh Hoover, quarterback, TCU, 19 of 22, 306 yards, and 4 touchdowns for the quarterback out of TCU. And that's all I have for y'all today, man. Again, I will be back tomorrow to talk about the conference championship games tomorrow at 5 o'clock. It'll be me, Joe, and Ace. We will be talking about the 9 conference championship games we got coming at y'all tomorrow. 4 on Friday, 5 on Saturday. We talking about them all. Also, while I'm here, let's talk about Michigan State, man. Great home win against Iowa. Never in doubt. Was in double digits from halftime on. We won by 19. Bennett Sturts, man, he had some crazy shots late in the game. But we did a great job on Bennett Sturts. Jeremy Fears had a great game. Hurt his average at assists was 6, which is crazy. 6 assists in college hurts your average, but definitely hurt his average. But Jackson Kolar had a great game. Cohen Carr had a good game. Jordan Scott actually had a good game for us. Kurt Tang we just had a great game overall for the MSU Spartans as we take on Duke this Saturday, which I'm debating if I want to do a show for that game because we got quite a few Duke fans in the chat. So I'll run it by them, see how they feel. But a great game by them. Also great. Duke, Isaiah Evans hit a game-winning 3 against Florida after Boogie Flan hit a go-ahead 3. When Florida was down majority of the game, Florida came back, took the lead by 2 off of Boogie Fan 3. But Isaiah Evans, like I said, big-time 3 to ultimately put Duke over Florida. North Carolina ends up coming back to beat Kentucky on the road against Kentucky, led by Caleb Wilson. Great game by him again. It was just a great comeback by them. What else we had to talk about in college basketball? Virginia absolutely manhandles Texas last night. Wasn't even close. Arkansas dominates Louisville last night at home at Arkansas. Arkansas is a good team. I just don't know which Arkansas team is going to show up. Auburn ran away late with the game against NC State at home. That was a nice back and forth until the end of the game. Like I said, Keyshawn Hall, Kevin Overton had great games for Auburn. Keyshawn Hall especially, I think he had 28, if not 30. He played a heck of a game. Trey Holloman got it going a little bit late in the ball game, but like I said, Auburn ran away with it. Enough Big Ten after dark, UCLA almost collapsed against Washington. They was up much as like double. I can't remember what the double-digit lead was, but Washington got it down to as much as 1 point before Donovan Dent missed split a pair of free throws at the end of the game. And the go-ahead 3 at the buzzer did not go for Washington, but that was a good ball game. UC San Diego suffered their first loss against Nevada. Heartbreak there for the parlay for your boy. Any other big games I'm forgetting? It may be. I don't know. Can't remember. But, yeah, man, college basketball started off. We're a month in, and it's been fun to watch. So, conference play is kind of slowly building. The ACC, SEC championship is going on, where I believe the ACC is up currently in that matchup. So, yeah, man, that's all I really got for y'all today. I'll be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock to cover conference championship week. In about an hour, I'm about to get on some more college basketball, but I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.